Bonafide Hustler here, and today I'm going to show you kind of how my operation goes down here in the garage. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris, the Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the inside of my garage. Ty Lopez garage? Not quite. We don't have Lamborghinis in this garage. We do have bicycles galore everywhere in this garage. But I wanted to discuss with you guys my operation because, you know, I sell a little bit on eBay, about 140 to about 170 items at any given time. I sell locally, and then I sell on Amazon, doing a shipment every 2 to 3 weeks, nothing crazy like that. But most of the actions here in this garage, now you might be thinking like, I can't do an operation like what he's about to show me, but hold on real quick. I'll show you really how simple it is to get an eBay business going. If you're ever wondering like, how can I, you know, do an eBay business correctly with minimal amount of space, today I'm gonna kind of show you like mine, and it doesn't take up much of this garage whatsoever. So before we get to the garage, I have to tell you like that my house is that way. Obviously the garage is this way. Got a little sticker door, nothing crazy. You got a little Aquaman, little trident looking thing that I used for Halloween. But essentially half of my garage, this is a 2-car garage, right? So like half of it is this kind of gym thing. It's a little messy, but nothing super crazy. Half of it, actually maybe a little bit more than half, is a personal kind of gym that I built myself on a really crazy budget. So yeah, I wanted a gym in my house so I can make workout videos and all that kind of stuff. So I put easily half of this or more, looks like 3/4 of this garage is a gym. We have a little bit of space for bikes, but we got a lot of bikes back there. So the bikes go here and then they go that way behind the curtains. But yeah, majority of this garage is the gym, all right? It's a little bit messy. Got leaves. We got leaves in the gym. No, honestly, like it gets really windy, so like stuff comes through the garage, ends up on the floor. So this way is basically the garage door. And then I have kind of like a workstation bench thing. That's kind of cool because I built it on top of old lockers. You can kind of see the lockers right there. And so there's like a little workstation kind of thing. And then I have like helmets and RC cars and stuff like that up there. And then we kind of get into the eBay section, which is kind of back here behind these curtains. And my main kind of workstation-ish kind of thing here. When I film a video or take eBay pictures, I'm using something like this on a surface like that. And that's pretty much how it goes. So we have micro eBay station, storage, 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 and then shipping supplies like right here. So shipping supplies being any kind of box that we get from Amazon Prime or wherever else, you know, goes right here, and we have all kinds of stuff. If we take a look behind the curtains, you can kind of see I take a big box and I put all the packing stuff in it that come from other boxes. And then we have just boxes everywhere. Some of this is inventory, and yeah, some of it's inventory, some of it's just extra boxes. Like these are just extra eBay boxes that I have ready to go. But for the most part, most of the boxes are right here. And then when we go into something like this, we have poly mailers right here. We have spare lights for the light box or light thing right there. Got a bunch of tape. So we have tape, 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 you know, never run out of tape. More eBay tape right there. Always have stuff on stock. So we have padded poly mailers, very important thing to have. If you're gonna be selling on eBay, you're gonna want these things. Basically what this is a padded bubble mailer that ships out at a standard rate. So pretty awesome. I think out of Austin, Texas, the rate is $7.33. So I can put anything I want in here. As long as it can fit in there, it can be as heavy as it wants. It'll ship for $7.33. So that goes right there. We have priority shoe boxes. All this stuff is free at USPS.com in the free supply section. So yeah, these are the shoe boxes right here. When you build them, they end up looking like shoe boxes. And I'll show you what the shoe boxes look like here in a second. But yeah, so that's what's right here. You can get them in quantities of 10 or 25 shipped right to your door from USPS, and they're free so long as you use priority mail to get them out. So me in Austin, Texas, here in the middle of the country, I use priority for a lot of things. So that's, you know, one of my main boxes that I use is the priority mail shoe box. And then I use the padded polys, you know, for what I want to do things going out priority. It could be mountain biking shorts. It could be a chinchilla jacket that went out yesterday, for example. It all fit in those kind of things. Now, when there's something a little bit bigger than that, I tend to go to other size poly mailers, or it could be smaller than that, maybe a first class rate, meaning less than $7.33 expected. So I would think, okay, maybe one of these poly bags or poly mailers. So these are eBay poly bags, and there's so many different sizes here, but the main really good size to get, if you're gonna get one, is a 9x14, which you can kind of see right here. So when I take the 9x14 out, you can kind of see that I think is a 9x14 if I'm not mistaken. It might be a 9x18. But either way, you can put tennis rackets in this, and you can sandwich 2 together after you bubble wrap it, of course. You can do a lot of things with this. You can put really big jackets in these things. So I like to have those on deck at all times. But that's sitting right there, and we have other eBay things right here. And then even smaller ones that are just around, just random places around here. And then we have another huge stack of 9x18 or whatever those were, poly bags. They're not poly mailers, they're just called poly bags. So there you go right there. I might even double or triple wrap something every now and then. If it has something like a jagged edge or something like that, I might, you know, double or triple poly bag it. And those things are really cheap. I think I got those from Amazon or maybe even eBay. They're really cheap. I like to get the biggest ones because then you can kind of whittle them down to like size. Whereas if you have something that, that's a little bit bigger and you want to fit it into a medium-sized poly bag, you know, sometimes you can't. So I'd much rather have a bigger bag and then I kind of tape around until the dimensions get kind of tight, as opposed to a small bag where I'm constrained. So that's that. We have, I think, bike parts in here. There's like a bunch of bike tubes when I work on bikes. Got bike tubes and other random stuff that I can use to mess with bikes. So there's more bike stuff, tires and random stuff, pedals that are on, you know, sale on eBay right there. So there's that. And then we have the main kind of station right here. It's not really cleaned up very well, but I'll just kind of show you because this is reality. It's like not everything's super perfect. So I have my camera that I take my pictures with right here. All I do is I put an SD card in it, and then I basically shoot pics with everything lit up right in this one area. And then we have the eBay tape gun. The same tape gun I've had for probably 15, 20 years now. So there it is with the eBay tape on it. Extra priority, like kind of sticky labels. These are kind of, I don't really like them very much. I'm just kind of purging through these. But they can act like tape sometimes if you don't have tape. But I clearly have a lot of tape. We got Sharpie markers to block out addresses and stuff like that. We have a ruler to take measurements, and we have 2 basically box cutter kind of things right here to you know, cut boxes to spec, or to take boxes that are already built up that come from Amazon Prime, you know, to take them down so they can fold up like that right there. So I use things like this. And then we have some scissors, which I hardly ever use. We have kind of like a saran wrap type thing. This is really good for FBA type stuff. So if you're gonna ship things to Amazon, let's say it's a Walkman that also has headphones, maybe a remote control, for example, or something weird like that, you're gonna wanna, you know, put them together with something like this. You can also put it in a box with a do not separate sticker on it, but this is really good. So this is basically saran wrap in a little roll, and you can kind of go around things. If you ever go to the back of a pawn shop, you'll see that they use this all the time to keep things together, especially things like video game systems, PS3s, you know, Xboxes, that kind of stuff. When it comes with 2 controllers, you know, power supply and the audio video cable, that's one of the easiest ways to keep it all together while it sits in the back room. So a good thing to have for sure. And then I have some random booth tags kind of just all over the place, like right here. Plus I have some tape. I have to tape one of those tags to something on an item. So that's what the tape is for right there. So that's basically that. Nothing crazy, you know, it's a pretty easy operation. I mean, you don't really have to have anything this big to do that. Let's go into the shoe wall right here. So if you can imagine that, this is a 2-car garage, right? From here, you know, you can fit a car if you really wanted to. My eBay inventory pretty much spans from here all the way to right about there. Not so much the lower half, but definitely just upper half. So if you're in a smaller place or an apartment or something like that, you can make things happen. Now you're gonna see a lot of boxes here, but that's also because I pre-box all my items. So that way, when it comes time, when things sell, I don't have to go hunting around for anything. Everything's already boxed, and I'll kind of show you that right now. We have the shoe section right over here that is sitting on this. I wouldn't even say it's half the garage. It's really like a quarter of the garage, maybe a third, right? A third, and halfway up are the shoes. So we have shoes. You can see with the eBay tape. We have Cole Haans in that box. We have some Keens in this box that I found in another video. Magnani shoes, Flyknit Chukkas in there. And we just got shoe boxes all up and down here. And then if I can't fit a certain pair of shoes in these boxes, I'm gonna put them in other boxes that are typically Amazon Prime boxes or something like that. And it goes all the way back there, as you can see. So yeah, really big stuff. I don't know why there's some Air Max size 16s in that big box. I should probably, you know, reduce the size of that one a little bit. But we have some Gucci boots in that one right there, some Cabela's boots in there, and then we have some Cole Haan boots in that one, some Lucchese Ostrich boots in this one. But I basically write on the side what is in the box. That way it's really easy to find everything. So yeah, and as I find a hole, you know, I can move something from the top to the hole if I want to. But for the most part, you know, I could expand if I want to as well. I'd have to just put more hours into the thrift game or the garage sale game. But you can kind of see that is only really, it's not really very big. I mean, this is still a tool chest, you know, for other things. There's nothing reselling in this lower part whatsoever. And, you know, this is the shoe section right here that I'm working with. Now, as we get over here, we have, well, this should have my bubble wrap, but it doesn't. It's somewhere over here. But the bubble wrap usually goes in there and it dispenses out. But we also have a trash bag, right? And this trash bag is just a general bag that I liked, and I just kind of hooked it up top there, and I put all the trash for like a week in there, and then I take it out to the dumpster thing, and then I keep the bag and hang it back up there. I like it. When something works, you just keep it, right? That's just how I like it. It might look kind of out of place, but it totally works. We have anything other than shoes pretty much on this side. If it's like a sandal or something, like maybe a cycling shoe or a Vibram 5-finger or something that's small, that's going to go in one of those padded poly mailers, like from down there, then that will end up in this box right here, which is right here. So I have a bunch of shoes and just smaller things in that box. We have all kinds of stuff that's right here. It's a little disorganized, but I know where pretty much everything is. So anything that's not a shoe will be up here. It's all pre-boxed. You know, we have some, what do we have up here? A Logo 7 Cowboys jacket in that one. We got some tank tops in this one. We have a flight yoke in that one. We have a shawl coat in this one, a drink tank keg kit in this one. We have a backpack in there. And then as we come over here, we have clothing. So these are just kind of bins. They're not really bins. I mean, you can get this at Costco right here. It's just a free box. But I put clothing related things. So cycling jerseys, light clothing, outerwear, all that kind of stuff would go here. So we have a chinchilla. You can kind of see there's a chinchilla in that one right there, a Patagonia one. But we have all kinds of stuff in here. I mean, right here we have a Ferrari windbreaker. You know, there's just random stuff. And here we have a Howler Brothers brand new size small hoodie, and it kind of just goes from here to here, right? If there's a foldable bag, it'll be in this section right here, and then anything kind of larger than a foldable bag will be right there. So there's like a Kelty bag in this one, and then anything pretty big that I don't want super high will be down here. So we have a Villaware in that box. We have just a bunch of other random stuff. We have a crawler body in here. And so you can kind of get an idea of, like, you know, what ends up on the bottom, what ends up at the top. Now in the background, I don't know if you can see it, but we have just random boxes just with random stuff in there. So it could be a hat. Anytime I ship a hat off, you know, like a cap, I always want to make sure it's in a box. I don't want it flopping around. I don't want it, you know, getting smushed. So I will put hats in boxes like that. So there are some hats in some of those boxes. We have some shirts right here that are vintage tees that I haven't decided whether I'm just going to put them in the booth or sell them on eBay. That's why they're out and not in a box or a bag or anything like that. But we have stuff like, you know, an iPod lot. In fact, this actually sold today. So I'm going to yank it. This sold for 45 bucks, and that'll be going out pretty soon. But there's some damaged iPods in there that cost me maybe $5 to $6 at a garage sale, and I sold it for 45 bucks today on offer. So you kind of get an idea of what's going on right here. Everything is pre-boxed. That's the main thing I want you guys to take away, is that if you actually pre-box things and still separate things, you can get a much better organization going down. Plus, you're not freaking out trying to find anything, and you're not, you know, putting a bunch of storage bins together that allows you to sort later and all that kind of stuff. I'd much rather have things in boxes in certain parts of, you know, the wall. And it's not really a big wall. That's the thing. Most people are like, oh my God, you know, you run an eBay business, it must be huge. It's not. It really isn't. And quite honestly, last year I had this whole like road to 200 thing. And it was really hard to get to 200 items like on my eBay store, running 15 hours a week, you know, thrifting and garage selling, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I allow myself. Every now and then I go up to like 20 hours. But when I'm running 15, 20 hours a week, when I'm running 15 hours a week or so, I pretty much can handle this. It's okay because I'm also selling things locally. So this whole road to 200 thing was like the best idea ever. And then I just started selling a lot more things on local markets, which made it really hard to keep things on eBay because there's a lot of cross-listed items back here. But as you can see, you know, there's still room to grow if I want to. And if I decide to invest more time into the project, I could obviously, you know, there's some space here and there, some corner space, and there's definitely some holes here that we can fit with a little bit more refined type inventory techniques. But for the most part, it is easy to run. So yeah, it's a short video, and I want to kind of show you the behind the scenes of the operation. It's nothing crazy. You might be wondering, well, what about the antique booth and things like that? Well, that's what the tags were for in there, right? Antique booth merchandise is like nowhere in this garage because it's at the booth, and I try to get it to the booth as fast as possible because it doesn't do any good being here. There are some stuff here that is listed on eBay, but I'm like, I just kind of want to put it in the booth because it's a little bit on the large side. And a perfect example of that is this burlwood bowl right here. It's huge. I mean, this is my foot right here. You can see how big this thing is. It's taking up a lot of space. I probably should put it in the booth while it's on eBay. That way, when it sells on eBay, for example, I just go to the booth and pick it up and it's out of the garage. Or if it sells at the booth and I see that it sells there, I'll just take down the eBay listing. And that's kind of how my mind thinks. And when you're trying to run things out of a small space, you have to think things like that, double, triple list. You have to think of all the ways that you can really maximize space. And the antique booth, for me, is one of the ways that I can almost have a almost like a storage unit, you know, that sells behind the scenes. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, I hope this kind of sheds some light on maybe how you can kind of do your inventory a little bit better or run a thin, nice and lean eBay business out of a small space. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Please leave me a comment down below. I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy. Goodbye.